Yo, YouTube, what's up? It's YT back at it again with another one. This is a hot one right here. Mail theft schemes. USPS postal workers have been taking people's checks and trying to cash them. That's one of the schemes. There's quite a few other ones too. But this is the main thing they're doing. As well as these women tried to make some fraudulent returns. Fraud from USPS workers is at an all-time high right now. They got various different schemes that they know how to pull or that they thought they knew how to pull, but were indicted on them. They really threw their whole life away. We about to get into it. This is pretty much just to inform y'all. Y'all might not want to be sending checks in the mail right now. It's kind of hot. It's kind of risky. I can't tell you what to do, but they are being intercepted by these criminals. Listen, I need everybody to thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash the subscribe button if you want to see more of these videos. And ring the bell so you can be notified when I post.
What are you guys doing? What happened?
Tonight, these suspects are accused of conspiring to steal more than 100 checks worth millions of dollars from the JFK mail facility.
We uncovered really a point of compromise, and that point of compromise was JFK post office.
Prosecutors believe it's the biggest theft at JFK since the famous Lufthansa heist in 1978, when about $6 million in cash and jewelry was stolen from the airport. United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Breon Peace, said in a statement, criminals who cash in on checks stolen from the mail can expect to fill out change of address forms for the federal prison they will be calling home. Two of the defendants, prosecutors say, worked for the Postal Service. Three others are charged with endorsing and depositing what investigators describe as stolen checks issued by the U.S. Treasury, mainly heading to international destinations.
These are checks that people are waiting for. These are checks that people are waiting for their livelihood.
New at 6, we've learned that included Social Security benefits, COVID stimulus checks, and tax refunds. Indictments charge at least $4 million was stolen. However, NYPD detectives think a lot more was taken.
When we look at ledgers that have been recovered and phone records and the like, our investigative theory is that over $40 million has been fraudulently either obtained or affected. So it's a big number.
A team of local and federal law enforcement has been working on the case for the past year and a half.
These are individuals working at the post office that we entrust. We give really a sacred trust to, right? To deliver everything with integrity.
Aiders are calling these suspects dangerous. They say one had a loaded gun nearby when he was taken into custody. Live in the newsroom, I'm Gus Rosendale, News 4 New York. Chuck will send it to you.
I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's the fact that people don't want to work no more. The post office has gotten ghetto. I'm seeing these people pull up blasting music. They talking on the phone as they pull up. It didn't used to be like that. I remember where I stayed, 2 U.S. postal workers pulled up. One, his truck broke down, so somebody else pulled up. Ultimately, they ended up getting in an argument and the other guy left. The guy that was meant to help him left because they got into it. So it seemed like they hiring any old bodies these days. I guess they thought they could get away with this. And if people find a way that they can get away with something, they're going to try to exploit it. They tried it, but they didn't succeed.
New at 10 and only on to tonight, a former Houston mail carrier accused of stealing millions of dollars in checks that should have been delivered to your mailboxes. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on KPRC 2 News at 10. I'm Daniela Guzman. My co-anchor Keith Garvin is off tonight. Well, that mailman delivered to an area where 125,000 Houstonians call home. And tonight, he is one of 5 people indicted. KPRC 2's Bryce Newberry joining us now live to explain how this scheme worked.
Yeah, Daniela, this is really the last person that you'd expect to be stealing your mail. And the way that all of this happened is a little bit unbelievable. Postal workers who steal and sell checks are common enough to have a street name. They're known as postal plugs. That's according to a law enforcement source who tonight tells me these checks are in high demand right now. This group is accused of using an encrypted messaging app and an underground lingo to try and pull all of this off. This post office on Houston's northeast side, now at the center of a multi-million-dollar theft ring. It started with USPS credit cards being swiped for fuel, seen here filling up non-USPS vehicles at odd hours. Then hundreds of thousands of dollars in checks that should have been delivered along the Roy Royal Post Office's mail routes spanning these 5 zip codes began disappearing.
It's like every route that he touched, people was complaining. They was getting complaints about mail was coming up missing.
That's a postal employee who used to work at Roy Royal who asked to remain anonymous, fearing retaliation.
It made me angry at that time. It is thieves working of Mars, the Postal Service. I'm pretty sure he's not the only one.
Investigators from the USPS Inspector General's office opened a criminal investigation in 2022. And when Houston police served a search warrant at this house last November because they say it had been rented using a stolen identity, they started uncovering more of a mail theft and check fraud scheme.
The person inside this residence is a mail carrier. Officers immediately began to notice a lot of mail that was not addressed to the legal residents.
Through search warrants for homes, cell phones, and Instagram, combined with timesheets and attendance records, what happened to all those checks, mostly belonging to small businesses, became clearer.
And in the case of every check that was stolen, that was found either in his vehicle or through images in his phone, they were able to pair up a route that he had worked on or about the exact day the check went missing.
Records show the checks included monthly Social Security and disability payments, as well as federal tax refunds. A Harris County grand jury just indicted 26-year-old Cameron Goodwin, a Royal Postal carrier of 2 years, for engaging in organized crime and theft. He's now accused of running a vast criminal network, stealing well over $1 million in checks straight from the mail between August and November of last year, then brokering them to bidders for a flat fee. Alleged bidders like Keyshawn Jones and Sylvester Brown. Brown seen here handling the checks while wearing a glove allegedly to conceal his fingerprints. After posing with stacks of cash, investigators believe he got through theft and fraud. The transactions usually got discussed over Telegram, prosecutors say, a hard-to-track encrypted messaging app.
They don't cooperate in most conventional ways.
According to a law enforcement source, the accused used code words referring to checks as slips, calling those from the U.S. Treasury stimmies, and altered slips are known to be cooked. How prevalent is this kind of thing in the postal system?
There are certainly more postal employees that are doing this. I couldn't comment on how many, but I will tell you, if you're doing it, your case is probably being worked already, and you may think you're getting away with it. You're not.
Investigators tracked some stolen money to bank accounts in Louisiana they say belonged to Keyshawn Jones's girlfriend and her mother, both now also indicted for theft.
I think some of these folks are thieves before they come to the Postal Service, to be honest with you.
For honest and hardworking postal employees, it's a scheme that stings.
But not everybody is bad at the Postal Service, you know. It's embarrassing that everybody that drives them trucks put on these uniforms. It's bad on everybody. That looks bad for everybody.
5 sisters allegedly did was that they would make online purchases through an online retailer. It was over $1 million worth of activewear over a period of about 2 years. They've been doing this apparently since March of 2022. So what they would do was make the purchase online, then start a return. And so then when they got the shipping label back for that return, they would go to a self-serve kiosk at a U.S. Postal Service, scan the return label, but not actually return the merchandise. So once they scan that return label, they would automatically get the money for the return, but they wouldn't actually return the merchandise. Then they would go to a brick and mortar store and return the merchandise in person and then get a second return for that same purchase. In a search warrant, sir, federal agents seized from the sisters about $500,000 in cash, about $500,000 worth of gold jewelry, 5 Teslas, and over $100,000 in merchandise from the victim retailer, which is not named in court documents, but we're told all of the items are activewear from the same retailer.
They would then take the physical items that had been delivered to their homes and they would travel to different states across the country. We know they went to California, Colorado, Arizona, Florida, Michigan, all over the country to return those in person.
Each charged with 25 counts, including mail fraud and conspiracy to commit mail fraud. Each of those counts carries a maximum penalty of up to 20 years in prison and a $250,000 fine.
Well, it's safe to say it's over for them. They threw their life away. 25 counts, each carrying a maximum of 20 years. That's 500 years. A life sentence is 30 years. Natural life is your whole life, but a life sentence is 30 years. So if we divide 500 by 30, that's like 16, almost 17 life sentences. These people were in position and used that position to play theyself. They didn't get over on the people, they got over on theyself.
2 Katy residents are each being held on a $100 million bond in Colorado, accused of being part of a mail theft operation. Only on 13, reporter Micah Hanfield looked through court records to figure out exactly what the pair is accused of doing.
Two $100 million bonds, that's certainly something that'll catch your eye. The two in this case are charged with a combined 51 counts, everything from theft to money laundering to burglary. Through surveillance efforts, court records say police in Parker, Colorado caught 27-year-old Brevin Pogue and 25-year-old Diana Amador Enamorado emptying mailboxes outside of a number of post offices and cluster boxes in the Denver area one night in June, although the two are believed, based on court records, to have done it before. The pair is Houston's own, while they have Katy addresses to be specific. According to court records, police searched a hotel room and an Airbnb that they were staying at in Denver and found stacks of stolen mail, $70,000 in cash, more than 577 checks believed to be stolen, USPS arrow keys that unlock the cluster mailboxes, and a notebook with storage unit addresses where money was being kept. During the course of the investigation, Parker, Colorado police contacted a postal inspector in the Dallas-Fort Worth area who was investigating stolen checks posted for sale online. In a search warrant filed here in Harris County, Pogue was identified as possibly being part of those sales. And then this story takes another bizarre twist. After the pair's arrest, Pogue was heard on a jail call telling a family member to get the money out of their storage unit and to call a locksmith if needed. Through court records, officials knew they had at least 3 storage units, one in Denver, Arizona, and one here in Katy. When law enforcement searched their public storage unit in Denver, a search warrant says they found mail and packages not in their names, 100 grams of cocaine, marijuana, and about $10,000 in cash. Nothing of note was found in Tempe, Arizona. At the public storage here on Clay Road in Katy, authorities turned up 2 laptops, some ripped open envelopes, and a few keys, but no cash. A review of surveillance video found during the same time frame as the jail phone call to get the cash, 2 women associated with the units showed up with gardening shears and headed toward the unit, but officials were not able to determine if they actually got into it. ABC 13 expects to learn more on this case in the coming weeks.
I mean, with all seriousness, how dumb can these people be? You posted stolen checks for sale online. You tried to sell some stolen checks on the internet. Then you get on a jail phone and tell your family, go get the money out the storage unit. Do you not know they listen to them jail calls? That's just straight up stupid. Then on top of that, right, not only did they have stolen checks in the storage unit, they had drugs in there too. So now you got a drug charge on top of all of the other charges. Wow. And the thing to me is this. Do y'all not understand that y'all are working a government job? So y'all are held at a high stature. They hold y'all at the highest status, man. Y'all bond is $100 million. You would have thought they was El Chapo. $100 million bond? That's like the highest bond I've never seen. Maybe I ain't been paying attention, but $100 million? Even at 10%. Remember that show, American Greed? They need to be on that episode. That was just greedy. The post office paid pretty decent, from what I know. It's an honest way of living, but they just wanted more and more. Now look at them. They not getting out no time soon, man. They not getting out no time soon. Hey, drop a comment. Let me know what y'all think about this one. And be careful what y'all sending in the mail. Don't send no checks, because they might get took. It's YT. Appreciate y'all watching, man. Peace.